Good morning, Marc. Here's your machine, the Rancilio Silvia, in very good condition. So as you saw in the photos, no real issues with this one. So of course you'll have the standard wear and tear around the front, from the cup getting in and out. And it looks like the previous owner used a steel wool to clean the stainless steel here. So there are some light surface scratches, but really no major issues. I would give it a 7 out of 10. And I've just finished doing the service, so back flush, checking for leaks, for pressure test. Everything's fine. And the machine is ready to make coffee. So I'm going to be making a double shot espresso in this video just to show you how things work. And I'm also going to be testing the steam for you, showing you how powerful the steam pressure on this one is. So just a few things that you need to be aware of on the Rancilio Silvias. You need to always keep the water topped up. So at least half full. You never want the water tank to be empty or close to empty. It's not good for the machine. And you also need to ensure that the boiler is full. Now you can do that very easily when you first turn on the machine. Just grab your cup and turn on. So when you turn it on, this light will light up. That means the boiler is heated. The boiler is heating, and it will turn off when it reaches temperature. So it will kind of oscillate up and down when it's in standby mode. So as it's heating, what you want to do, or when you first turn it on, what you want to do to ensure that the boiler is full, turn on the second button, which is the hot water tap button, and open the tap. When you see water coming out of the steam wand, that means your boiler is full. So do this every time you turn on the machine, just to make sure that the boiler is full of water. If you don't do this, you might risk damaging the boiler. So if you run the boiler really hot when it's empty and no water is inside, that's obviously very bad for the boiler. That's number one. So always make sure that the water tank and the boiler are full. Number two, you don't want to run the steam mode for more than 2 to 3 minutes. Again, for the same reason, you don't want the boiler to be dry. Reason being is that these sort of machines are more manual. So every time you run the steam mode, it doesn't refill the boiler. So you have to refill it on your own. But the good part is that the steam pressure is so strong on these that you'll be steaming for maybe 20-30 seconds max, because it's stupid powerful with the steam here. So that'll probably be enough for one coffee. So if you're making a large quantity, maybe a minute of steaming. You don't want to be steaming for more than 2 to 3 minutes. And of course, when you're done with steaming, you want to turn off the steam mode. So just like I said before, when you turn it on, the light will go on when the boiler is heating up, and it'll turn off when it's up to temperature. This button is for the espresso, so giving you hot water through the handle. This button, like I said, for the hot water tap from the steam wand, so it'll give you hot water through the steam wand. And like I said, you want to use this to fill the boiler, and when you see water coming through the wand, that means the boiler is full. This button is to engage steam mode. So it looks like it's ready to make coffee. So let's show you my routine. So when you first turn on the machine, it'll take about 3 to 5 minutes to turn on. You can keep it for as long as you want. As long as the button is on, it'll stay within that temperature. If you keep it on for 30 minutes or so, it will be really hot. So you'll have the group head really hot, the portafilter really hot. And you can also keep your cups here, like this, to warm them up as the machine warms up. So maybe by 30 minutes, you'll have things nice and hot. If you're in a hurry and you just turn on the machine right now, and you want to make a coffee straight away, you can run a blank shot. So that means running hot water through the handle into the cup, just to warm things up. So I'm going to do that now. Maybe let's fill half of this cup in with hot water. So. You can do this once or twice, it's up to you really. Just a little bit helps to keep things nice and hot. It's really hot now, so I think that's enough. After you do the bank shot, now the portafilter obviously is wet, so you want to dry that before grinding your coffee. And you want to be using freshly ground coffee with these machines for best results. And this is the double basket, so I'll be grinding a double quantity into it, which is about 18 grams. Let's turn on my grinder. And you obviously want to set up your grinder for a correct grind size, because if the coffee is too fine, you won't get a lot of coffee out of your shot. If the coffee is too coarse, you'll get too much coffee and it'll be too quick. So you have to balance the grind size to a point where you're giving the right amount of espresso in the right amount of time. So this is, let's put this to 18 grams. So I'm going to use the scale to measure things. So turn on the scale. Let's fix this. And I'm going to grind 18 grams into it. Perfect, that's 18 grams. Just confirm using the scale. Yep, 17.9, that's fine. You don't have to be exact with things, you don't have to have the exact amount of grams, but the closer the better. And I think I've already set up my grinder to the correct grind size for my other machine, so this should be good enough. The only way to know that if you have the right grind size is to make a coffee and see if it's too quick or too slow, or just right. So this machine, as you saw in the photos, comes with the portafilter, the basket. But you might also want to invest in a good tamper, so anything that's 58 millimeters, maybe 58.5 should be good. So this is a 58 millimeter tamper. You want a tamp nice and firm every time, and you want your tamp to be nice and flat, not wonky or with gaps. So you want it to be nice and even. Cool. So 18 grams in. I'm going to try to double that 18 grams. So 18 grams in, 36 grams out. That's the recipe I'm going to be using, a 2-to-1 ratio recipe. And again, you don't have to be exact, you just have to aim for that ballpark. And I want that to happen in about 20 to 30 seconds. So I'm going to lock it in just beyond halfway. I don't think halfway is enough to pressurize. I think just beyond. So about, say, 5 o'clock, maybe 5:30 position, around here, a bit to the right. It should be tight enough. You don't have to push it all the way to the right. That's excessive. So just there. Cup is nice and hot now. I'm gonna do the same with the scale. I'm gonna use the scale to measure the quantity. So I'm gonna tear my scale here and make coffee. You can do what they call a pre-infusion, so you can turn on the button quickly, just to wet the coffee bed, I guess, and then go full pressure. So it looks like it might be a little bit too fine, my grind size. But the flow is nice and smooth, it's consistent, I would say. We have some very good crema. Actually, I stand corrected, it's just the right grind size, I would say. So that's about 25 seconds. And I think that's about 35 grams. Just have to double check. That's 33 grams, that's alright. I would call that a very good shot. Good crema, good flow, and we got about 36 grams in about 30 seconds, or you can say 33 grams in 25 seconds, same thing. So we have the right settings there, 18 grams in, 33 grams out. Should be a very good shot. It smells really good, that's for sure. And that's espresso. If you want to turn this into a long black, obviously you can add hot water, which is what I'm going to do now. that's an Americano coffee now. Here. After the coffee, you want to take out the coffee straight away. So lock it into your lockbox or bin or whatever. I have a couple for sale, I think. If you'd like, just let me know. You also want to do a blank shot after, so run hot water just to rinse the portafilter and the shower screen, just like that. You can use the sink, but if you want to do it in, two birds one stone, you can run some hot water through the grip head. Some people also like to do a back flush after, or like wipe it with a tissue. That's fine. Now let's test the steam. So before starting the steam, we want to confirm that we have a full boiler. We already done that before. As you see, water. If you see water through the wand, the boiler is full. So now we can turn on steam mode. Make sure we have the right amount of water in there. When the light here turns off, that means the boiler is ready to steam. In the meantime, I'm going to take the opportunity to empty the drip tray. So the drip tray on this one is, I would say, fairly small for its class, but it just means they have to empty it more often. So always try to empty it as quick as you can. So maybe when it's halfway full, as it is in this case, or less, sooner the better. You don't want it to be full when you empty it. It'll just be really clumsy and awkward to remove if you wait too late. Put it back. Make sure everything's nice and dry. You want this area to be nice and dry as well. You don't want it to rust. If you keep keep dripping water into this area, it'll rust eventually. So light went off, so it's ready to steam. With the steam, so you first open the wand, you might get some condensation, some water coming out of the wand. So you want to get rid of that into maybe the drip tray or a cup or into whatever. So just open it a little bit until you start getting steam. Now it's ready to steam, obviously. So the steam is crazy strong here. I'll just demonstrate. You can open it a little bit to get a little bit of steam if you want to do it more controlled and slow, or you can open it all the way to go full pressure. So that's a little bit. That's more, and that's full pressure. I'll do that again. So a little bit more, full pressure. Yeah, it's you can make quite a mess if you're not careful with it. So maybe when you first get the machine and practice on it, I guess you can open it a little bit just to get that low pressure first. And remember, like I said, you don't want to steam for too long. Turn it off as soon as you're done. And to cool the boiler down, you can run hot water through it. So when you see water coming out instead of steam, that's when it's ready to make an espresso shot. So it's back to espresso temperatures, I would say. So yeah, I recommend doing this every time you're done steaming. Not only to fill the boiler and cool it down, not only to fill the boiler and protect it, but also to bring the temperatures down if you want to make another coffee. And that's all you need to do to make a coffee on your Rancilio Silvia. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or any concerns, feel free to message me. and I'll see you soon. Thanks.